Yeah, Scott, I'm sorry, I can just barely hear you because I think the noise level has just picked up a bit here in the room as the polls close, and indeed the Republican Party figures have come down here to be in their election headquarters. And right now, I am joined by the chairman, Michael Kracker, right now. And Michael, I wanted to ask you first off, just in general, just what are you hearing? How do things be? Do a scene setter from your perspective right now for us.
Well, I think as you can see in this room, Republican enthusiasm is off the charts. It's been off the charts for a couple weeks. I had the privilege of going to Madison Square Garden, where Donald Trump blew the roof off of that venue. But here locally in Erie County, people are excited. Our Republican Party is turning up, not just today, but on early vote. I'm very proud that our party has posted a record turnout in early voting. We've been emphasizing it for 2 years. Clearly our voters are starting to respond, and as a percentage of our enrollment, we have actually outpaced the Democrats this year in early voting.
Yeah, and that was unusual because usually what we always hear was, and you know this, the ground game, the Democrats are better at the early voting. What do you think flipped it?
Well, I think part of it's the issues, right? I think there's so many voters, Republicans, blanks, conservatives, Democrats, who are excited about getting out and voting for Donald Trump. So anybody who tells you that Donald Trump's not a helper to our ticket, I think is misreading Erie County and the voters here in this community. But certainly our party has put a great emphasis. We've made tens of thousands of phone calls, knocked on tens of thousands of doors. We've shown up at community events, emphasizing early voting and taking advantage of banking your vote early. And I think you see that in the early vote results.
Now, what about some of the legislature races? Because I know we covered some of them. The 143rd seemed extremely competitive based on all the TV commercials. I think we made a lot of money. I didn't say that. But anyway, basically, yeah, it did seem like some of these races were a little tighter this year, whereas Democrats do, unfortunately for you, seem to prevail. But what are you hearing? What's the feel you're getting at this point? I know the polls just closed.
Well, I know you guys made a lot of money because I think the 143rd is the most expensive assembly race, I think, in the history of Erie County. But I believe we have the best candidate we could have recruited, somebody who put on the uniform to serve his country overseas, somebody who came home and wore the uniform as a Cheektowaga police officer, who's got a great message for the folks in Lancaster, Cheektowaga, and Buffalo. But there's a number of hot races. The 142nd, where Mark Priory's challenging Pat Burke. In Tonawanda and Amherst, where Christine Zarnick's taking on Sean Ryan. Our party is fighting in every corner of this county, but certainly the 143rd and 142nd have attracted a lot of investment, both from the County Republican Committee, the campaigns, and statewide political entities.
And you were telling me the 144th, you think you're good there?
I feel confident. We just got early vote numbers out of Niagara County, and those results were favorable. I believe the results on early vote and absentee will be favorable here in Erie, which is a good trend line for us this early on an election that I won't call it, but I feel good that Paul Maloney is going to be going to the New York State Assembly.
What's your feel, too? I mean, we had discussed again previously today, Cheektowaga, West Seneca, Lancaster, I know some of those impacted by some of those assembly races and what have you. What are you hearing about turnout there, and what are you hearing about perhaps how things look for your party?
Well, I've been in this business in Erie County a long time, and when I first got started, you wouldn't hear about the Republican Party being as invested in towns like Cheektowaga and Lancaster as we are today, but those have been the center of the universe for us. We've made huge gains on the town board in Tonawanda or Cheektowaga and Lancaster, and now this election that's sort of coming back to fruition, where you've got an assembly race where during early vote, the Cheektowaga and Lancaster town early vote locations were the most populated early vote locations in the county. So that's a sign that no doubt the voters are aware there's a big campaign going on above them, and we're confident as a party that they're going to be voting for the Republican and conservative candidate, Pat Kludzinski.
Okay, so more to come. When do you expect you can get up there and make some announcements realistically? I
think we'll have some early races to call, within a half hour, and then I think throughout the night we'll have more and more to go. It'll be, dependent on how quickly the board's turning around results, how quickly we can analyze it and feel confident in calling a race.
I will sneak one more in. The DA's race in Erie County. What are you hearing there?
That's going to be a historic campaign. James Gardner's waged a terrific campaign, very well-funded, organized operation in a race that the Republicans have not won outright since 1988. So this would be a historic victory for our party. We feel that James done our party proud.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Chairman. So that's the situation from the Republican gathering. I'll send it right back to you guys in the studio, and we thank the Chairman for joining us.